All right, team, we're going to learn today how to use a camera here in LLBN Studio. Your class or your training session is going to be done on this camera. It's a JVC model GY-DV550. Now, any studio config camera will pretty much be the same. So today we're going to cover the basics, how you set up your camera and tripod before you get ready for taping. This is the JVC camera we're going to be talking about today, and this side is basically has no controls for you to worry about. In spinning the camera around, the other side of the panel has other features. This is the side that has quite a bit of controls which are designed for the studio engineer to operate. This is not for a camera operator. However, there are two major switches that you will have to turn on in order to make this camera functional. Is the power switch, as you see right here, has to be turned in the on position, and a second switch labeled operate has also to be in the on position. All right, but before we go any further with how to operate this camera, we're going to talk about other basics. We start with the tripod itself. Every camera is seated on a tripod. These are broadcast quality tripods, not like your typical home tripod. Every tripod sits on a dolly. This is the dolly, which is the component attached to the wheels that allow you to what we call dolly the camera. You can, as it sounds, you can dolly the camera or truck it in any direction that the director may ask you to use. Each tripod has two additional knobs that when you loosen these knobs, it would allow you to raise or lower the tripod. When you adjust the tripod, it takes two people, one to hold the camera to balance the load, as we will demonstrate here for you. As Murphy steps in, he's going to hold the camera, secure your hands around the head of the tripod. Then you would loosen either the upper knob or the lower knob. Since it adjusts in sections and it is a sectional tripod, you may loosen the only three top knobs, and this would allow you to either lower or raise the camera. To loosen the knob, you simply go counterclockwise. To tighten it, you go clockwise till it stops turning. And that way, the tripod will be locked and secure for the desired height that you have selected. Following adjusting the height of the tripod, you will have to conduct what's called horizon adjustment. Each tripod has what's called head. This is the head assembly, and the head assembly is adjustable in a 360 balancing rotation by grabbing at the lower part of the head, which is secured between the peak of the tripod. You untighten it, and by untighten it, it will give you the ability to rotate the camera as I'm doing so. You need to center the bubble in the middle of the level, as you see on the camera. Once you establish the bubble in the center of that level, reach down again to the lock below the head and twist it till it locks the camera in place. So let's quickly recap the tripod. We covered the dolly, which is on wheels, the tripod, that's a two-sectional part, and the head and its alignment for proper level. All right, so now that we covered the tripod, the dolly, and the head setup, if you pull behind the camera, as I will ask Murphy to do so, there are two arms, physical arms, metal arms extending from the head. One is to attach the focus control, and the second bar is for the zoom control. And we're going to show you here by rotating the camera in your direction, as Murphy will show you. There are two arms, one for your left hand, one for your right hand, one attached with the focus or zoom control on the other hand, and sometimes those two controls are reversed. You'll have to identify which is your zoom and which is your focus. As we indicated, each arm has a control device. On the left side, as you stand behind the camera, typically is focus control, which, as you see here, has its own cable leading up to the camera lens. And likewise on the opposite side, which would be your right hand side as you stand behind the camera, there's another associating cable from zoom control to the camera lens. Those must be connected at all times, and if they are not, please ask your director or the engineer in charge on site. Once again, we will recap for you all the necessary steps and the components. The dolly with the wheels, the tripod, camera head, the handle arms, the controls, their cables to the lens. We mentioned earlier in the beginning of this video that each camera has a power switch and an operate switch. The power switch has to be turned on first, then followed by the operate mode. Following switching operate on, briefly, this light will start blinking and this display as well. Once blinking complete and stopped, you will notice the monitor will light up, and now you are ready for camera operation. Note on the back of a camera there is a jack and a wire that extends all the way to a headset resting on the left arm of the camera. By lifting the headset, it would allow the operator to wear it on, and once that's done, he will be able to communicate with the director in the control room for further instructions. Also, from time to time, a director may ask you to shut your microphone off for the headset by put it in the off position, which will still allow you to hear the director, except you will not be able to talk back to him. Levels for the headset can be adjusted from the side of a camera on the left-hand side. There's a level control, as you see right here, indicating level. You'll adjust it counterclockwise or clockwise according to the volume desired. Okay, maybe you forgot one part of it. Let's review it again. The dolly with the wheels, the tripod with the 3 legs, the head, control arms, the control with its cables leading to the lens, the camera body with the power on, operate on, camera with flash briefly. Once flashing is complete, camera is ready for operation. You got that? Well, now let's move forward and see how we can teach you to use the camera appropriately during a production. All right, so we're going to ask Mephi here as if we are ready for a production. He will approach the camera, put his headset on in case the director needs to communicate with him. You have the ability to adjust both arms for your comfort by unlocking the knob over here, would allow you to rotate the handlebar to any comfort position you desire. And then at that time, you also want to make sure the monitor above is tilted for your comfort, and then loosen the clutch for the tilt, which would allow you, as you see the movement, to tilt the camera up or down. Up on here in the command of tilt down or tilt up, it would be referenced to the lens position. Tilting down will be, as you see here, as I'm tilting the pen and the camera tilting accordingly. Tilting up will be tilting on the upward position. Always your point of reference for tilting is related to the lens. Now notice by tilting down, it would reflect in your monitor going down all the way to see his toes. And when you're asked to tilt up, by tilting the lens upward, notice that you are tilting up to show his face or above him. These commands are important to follow as the director gives them to you. In other instances, the director will be asking you to what's called pan left or pan right. If you're asked to pan left, Mephi will demonstrate to us the movement. And if you're asked to pan right, you will simply point the lens to your right position. Handle this equipment with care. When you adjust your bar, make sure this control is locked only finger tight, not over tightened. For your tilt, make sure it's loose during operation, and up on abandoning your camera, finger tie this control, do not over tie. On the opposite side, there's another set of clutches. One here on the bottom is designed for your pan operation. If this clutch is tightened, it will make it difficult for you to pan. As Mephi will demonstrate, by panning, it will start rocking the tripod. It will also damage the head. So you always want to make sure during operation this clutch is loose. And by the way, never unscrew this particular knob. This is safety knob to keep the camera from sliding off the tripod. And like the other side, you have another handlebar lock position. Please do not over tighten any of these knobs, as it will damage the equipment. All right, so it's really simple. I think by now you've got the idea how all this works. Let's recap a few things quickly. You've got the dolly that allows you to truck or dolly in any directions. Always make sure cables out of your path so you don't trip and hurt yourself. Make sure after you elevate your tripod that these controls are tight and secure so the tripod will not collapse. As you loosen your tilt control, make sure that's loosened enough. Your handlebars, make sure they're finger tight. Once you adjust the bars for your comfort, double check them for tightness and that it's finger tight, nothing stronger than that. Your power is on. You've got your monitor adjusted to the proper tilt. Your headset is on and you are ready to help your director to produce a new program. Rule of thumb, always listen to your director. Take instruction before setup. Ask them for their expectations. Keep your headset on as you set up your camera so the director can communicate with you. And always during taping, keep your headset on. Never walk away off your camera without telling him. And always listen to his instructions. Be a team with your director and get us a good production. Following every successful production and upon completion of the production, never leave your camera until your director tells you you're cleared to leave your position. If you haven't heard from him, ask him. Once you are released to leave your camera, lock your tilt, finger tight, don't over tighten the control. Shut the camera, operate mode off, followed by the power, and you're good to go. I hope you enjoyed this experience in working here with us at LLBN. It's a wonderful ministry. Watch this video as many times as you need to. Give us your feedback where we can improve it. In the meanwhile, watch it again and come and get the hands-on experience and get to know your camera and the equipment that you are about to operate. Thank you for being part of this ministry.